What's up, everyone? I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees with my friend and co-host Dylan Backer. And kind of breaking news, not even kind of, very breaking news. The Yankees DFA'd Aaron Hicks. You know, Alex and I in the morning were talking about, like, why did the Yankees bring in Greg Allen and for what reason? And, like, what's the corresponding roster move? Like, unless they're DFAing Hicks or IKF, you know, like, what exactly is the move? It's not like they're going to DFA Aaron Hicks. I remember, like, being pretty, like, they're not DFAing Aaron Hicks. I don't think they're DFAing Aaron Hicks. And, well, I was wrong. It's a day that ends in Y, so of course I'm wrong. But with that being said, now that Aaron Hicks is DFA, this brings up a lot of questions, and there's a lot of, like, weird, like, feelings, emotions regarding the situation. You know, it kind of came out of nowhere, especially since Aaron Hicks wasn't even having a terrible month of May. So it's one of those things where it's like, wow, he's gone. It's kind of hard to believe. It's kind of tough to process. But, you know, with that being said, Dylan, you know, what were your initial reactions to seeing Hicks getting DFA'd? You know, now he's gone, right? The guy we've been complaining about all year, he's gone. What are your thoughts?
Right. So, I mean, Hicks getting DFA'd, would I call this a surprising move? No, but what makes it shocking is that the Yankees actually went ahead and did it. You know, we thought for a while that they weren't going to do it and that, you know, they were just going to hold on to Hicks or try to find a trade, but nobody was going to be able to trade for him, so they just would have ended up being stuck with him this season. You know, he signed a 7-year, $70 million extension before 2019, so, you know, how the Yankees love to hold on to their contracts, so that you thought maybe they would have just held on to it, but no, they went ahead and got rid of him pretty much out of nowhere. I mean, you know, they acquired Greg Allen last night, and you kind of wondered, you know, okay, why'd they acquire Greg Allen? That felt kind of random, but okay. And then you were like, oh, he's going to be on the big league roster. Okay, that means someone is going to have to be removed, whether it was an injury or whether someone was just going to get optioned. We had no idea what was going to happen. Turned out the move was Aaron Hicks getting DFA'd, you know, and I mean, you know, I have numbers right here. Over the past 5 seasons before he got DFA'd, Hicks was hitting 218 combined, 689 OPS, only hit 31 home runs in 5 seasons. I mean, you know, just wasn't very productive. So there's, you know, obviously it just did not work out for Aaron Hicks. You know, it had been a completely tumultuous 2022 season, a even more tumultuous 2023 season so far for Hicks. You know, a lot of things weren't going his way. Like you said, he wasn't even having that bad of a month of May. So you were hoping, you thought maybe that they were just going to, you know, hold on to him a little bit longer, see if they could get anything out of him whatsoever. Nope, they just went ahead and did it. They DFA'd him. So now Aaron Hicks, if he does go anywhere else this season, if he does play in the major leagues again this year, it's going to be for a different team. You know, he's not going to be a New York Yankee anymore. And, you know, obviously I wish the best for Hicks. I do wish he can find a place to, you know, be in and not have to be in a situation where he's not on an MLB roster anymore. But, you know, for the Yankees standpoint, this was the move to make. This was the right thing to do. You know, it just was not working. I know the team has been had dealt with a lot of injuries so far this season. That's part of the reason why he was still on the roster at the start of the season. But, you know, this was long overdue. This was long overdue, and it's about time they did that they actually made the move. You know, now they want to make Greg Allen the kind of backup outfielder instead of Aaron Hicks. You know, Greg Allen, he was with the team in 2021 for a very brief period of time, but he was with the team, and you know, he did some really good things. You know, on paper, his stats weren't like, oh my God, amazing. They didn't jump out at you, but he got some good hits. You know, he played really good defense. You know, those are things that the Yankees clearly value, and those are things that can really serve well as a backup outfielder. So I like the move. Personally, I'm happy that they finally did something about the Hicks situation because, you know, they were just, at that point, keep continuously sending him out there while he was struggling. It just felt like they were kind of setting him up for failure a little bit. You knew he wasn't going to really do much. You know, it just felt wrong. Aaron Hicks and the Yankees are just not a match made in heaven whatsoever. Those are kind of my thoughts on it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, Aaron Hicks was the Yankees' worst player this season. And I'm not saying that from like a, you know, I hate Aaron Hicks standpoint. I'm saying it from a statistical standpoint. He had the worst WAR on the team at negative 0.5. The Yankees have the worst left field room in the league. Again, not like I'm a boomer, like pessimistic Yankee fan, whatever it may be, whatever insults we want to use here. The Yankees statistically, again, have the worst left field group in the league. They have the worst F4 in baseball at the position. If you look at WRC+, a 60 WRC+, that's pathetic. That's the second worst in the league, right? If we look at offensive offensive runs, which includes BSR, right, which is base running value. They're the worst in the league at a negative 12.8 offensive runs. That's unbelievable. They only have 6 home runs at the position, and I'm pretty sure that like Jake Bauers is responsible for a third of them. They have a 200 average at the position. It's just been bad, and Aaron Hicks is a big part of that, right? The Yankees were looking to shake up the position, and as you mentioned, even if Greg Allen is just like kind of whatever, right? Like he's a better defender and a better base runner than Hicks, and that's already an upgrade right there. It allows you to give more playing time to different players who potentially have a little more potential. I know Cabrera's gotten off to a slow start, but I feel like you'll buy into Cabrera's ceiling more than Hicks. Jake Bauers has hit the ball hard. His WRC plus this season isn't great, but again, I think you'll buy on his ceiling over Hicks. And then Greg Allen is just fast and can play good defense. So, fourth outfielder kind of situation, late game defensive sub, pinch runner. Like Hicks has regressed dramatically in those regards. Hicks was in the 66th percentile last year in sprint speed. So at the very least, he was a good base runner. You could say, all right, he can run the bases well. Now he's in the 48th percentile. Last year he had +1 OAA in left field and like 8 defensive runs saved. You're like, okay, he may not be a center fielder anymore, but at least he's a plus in left field. This year he's a -1 OAA guy in left field, so he's no longer a good defensive outfielder. And of course, the bat has been terrible. He's striking out more than he did last year. He's walking less than he did last year. His quality of contact is worse than it was last year. His barrel rate is worse than it was last year. Everything got worse from a year that was already not great for Aaron Hicks. The writing was on the wall. What else are the Yankees supposed to do, right? Who else would the Yankees have let go? I understand IKF would have been a popular answer to that question, but in the same vein, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa plays good defense at multiple positions, right? If you look at his outfield numbers, I'm pretty sure he's a plus in OAA and defensive runs saved out there. Yeah, +2 defensive runs saved and +1 OAA in right field, center field, and left field combined. At third base, he won a Gold Glove there, so I'm pretty sure the Yankees will be comfortable throwing him out there. And he does have some experience at second base if need be, so I feel like he's just more versatile than Aaron Hicks is, and of course he's faster than Aaron Hicks is, and the WAR reflects that. -0.1 isn't great, but it's 0.4 WAR better than Aaron Hicks, so there's that. And then again, as for guys like Jake Bauers, Willie Calhoun, Greg Allen, the Yankees are buying the ceiling. The fact that maybe they can run into a couple of batted balls and get a couple of them out of the ballpark, that's the selling point there. So with that being said, I think this does place a little more pressure on guys like Josh Donaldson, who the Yankees are not afraid to eat money now. They've shown, look, if we're going to pay you, you're either going to play well here or you're going to be such a detriment that, we're going to cut you or we'll eat the money for you not to be here. I thought this was shocking in the sense that the timing of it and just like the shock of, hey, the Yankees don't care that they're going to eat $30 million. Looking at Josh Donaldson, that puts some pressure on him. If you're a guy on this team making a lot of money and, you see this move, do you feel like there's more pressure on you to perform better? Like, what do you think about that?
So, yeah, this does take a lot of pressure on Donaldson. Donaldson hasn't been performing well this season, as we know. Currently on the IL, so, we don't know what he'll do when he comes back. But, he was off to a very slow start before the injury. I think he was only hitting like 133. It was only a few games, but still wasn't very productive. And he wasn't very productive last season, as we all know. Only hit like 220 and only had 12 homers. His power went down, average went down, all that stuff. Wasn't very productive offensively really whatsoever, so, and I do think too with bringing up these younger guys such as Volpe and Cabrera and having these guys being able to, and DJ playing third base more often, having these guys around, it definitely puts pressure on Donaldson because at this rate, Donaldson could lose his starting job very, very quickly, very, very quickly. You may argue that he already has lost his starting spot, but, with that contract he has, the Yankees are going to always still try to find a way to get him in the lineup as much as they can. That's just what they're going to do because they have him. But, like I was saying, yeah, it definitely takes some pressure on him. Seeing what they just did to Aaron Hicks, it clearly shows now, maybe once and finally, that the Yankees are not afraid to make the move necessary to get rid of a player that has just not been performing well whatsoever and is becoming, quite frankly, a detriment. Donaldson has not been exactly the guy that we hoped we got when we traded for him. So, yeah, I definitely would say this puts some pressure on him to kind of step up his game a little bit and get some, good batted balls in play and start, actually swinging the bat better and, just being a more impactful player, being that middle lineup guy that we were hoping he would be when we traded for him. So it's kind of my thoughts on it. I really hope Donaldson can step it up when he comes back because hopefully Donaldson sees this move as okay, it looks like this team's not messing around to guys that are struggling. Looks like I really need to step up my game. I'm hoping he can do that. Donaldson's been a guy who's known to kind of make adjustments here and there. I know sometimes he comes off like he doesn't want to make an adjustment, but he did make an adjustment this year with his swing. We haven't gotten to see a whole lot of how much long-term production we could get out of that adjustment, so we'll kind of find out more when he returns from the injury. But I'm just hoping that he can step it up because, like I was saying, it doesn't seem like the Yankees are letting up. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of at the point with the Yankees where it's like, okay, so now we are like totally on board, perfectly okay with, just getting rid of guys who aren't playing well, and that they're more than okay with taking that risk, and they know what it comes with. They know that it comes with the risk of, you're just going to eat money and some other team can pick him up and get him for free. They don't care. And I think it's good that they don't care, right? Because I think that Aaron Hicks was so bad, they had to get rid of him. And end of the day, I think that Josh Donaldson, IKF can perform at a level that is better than negative 0.5 WAR, but if they don't, well, then the DFA hammer is going to come. And, guys like Stanton coming back are going to make another roster crunch. Like, now you look at, like, Willie Calhoun, IKF, Jake Bauers, Oswaldo Cabrera, Greg Allen, and you're like, all right, one of these guys are going to go down for Giancarlo Stanton, assuming everyone stays healthy, And then there's Oswald Peraza performing well in AAA. Like, there are a lot of weird things going on with the Yankees, not in a bad way necessarily, but that are going to present a lot of roster change and a lot of roster movement going forward. But, with that being said, guys, we'd love to hear your guys' reactions to the Aaron Hicks news. Again, just kind of not really. I think Dylan put this best. It wasn't shocking that Hicks was gone, but I think it was shocking because of the timing of it, considering that he wasn't playing that poorly lately. But I think it was a necessary change that they had to make. And we want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. You can join the conversation on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and of course our YouTube page. Check out Apple Podcasts or Spotify for the audio version of this podcast. And of course, you guys can check out Empire Sports Media for all your New York sports content. We've got articles coming out there all the time. You can check out our personal Twitter accounts. They're above our heads. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.